A poor look for the DGPT, and I'm not talking about that Macbeth typo. Latt provides an update, the Tour Championship is underway, and even more this week in disc golf. What's happening, all you disc golf peeps? And I can't forget the disc-generates out there. You guys should remember by now, I'm the one with the goofy name and even worse tagline. Yep, it's me, Swiss Cheese, the one with all the holes in his game, and most importantly, just one half of the disc golf world. Cause simply put, we're that disc golf YouTube channel that all your favorite pros tune in to watch. Why? Cause we're not only providing the hardest but fastest hitting content that doesn't need to be watched at 1.5 speed. Allow me to take the time to thank everyone that stopped by our booth to support us while we were out at USDGC. Some of you even being pdga employees. But not to worry, guys, your secret is safe with us. And of course, every one of you who even bought some of our merch. Our first vending experience was an absolute blast. One that we made a party of, with a little help from you, the fans. And if you're listening, you know the ones I'm talking about. It was great to see the homies we missed while off tour and new connections with others that even I would never expect to encounter on our journey. And I'll make a promise here and now, we'll definitely be back next year, bigger and even better. But while we were there, we were also invited to an event, in my opinion, only we can truly cover properly. You see, the Oak Grove Golden Jubilee in Pasadena, California is on December 6th, celebrating the 50th anniversary of the first permanent course in the world with an Ed Hendricks tribute and some of the lowest PDGA numbers in attendance. So if there's any of you with some very deep pockets for flights for the boys, or one of you higher ups in disc golf currently listening, hit up our socials and help to get us out there to document the game's history and celebration. And who knows, maybe I'll even become a PDGA member to play, or at the very least, shill for whatever promotion or company the sponsor of our voyage wants. Enough with the pleasantries and promotions, let's get into the disc golf action outside the USDGC and that AB redemption victory, even if the DGPT mistakenly said Macbeth. But this week brought even worse optics than a mistaken typo or one's full nudity on display of Time magazine. This one involving the upcoming Match Play Championship and their VIP passes, or maybe the correct term should be former VIP passes. A fan posted that their $143 3-day VIP pass and the amenities that comes with it would be eliminated, as DGPT, and I'm using Drew Gibson air quotes here, simplified ticketing to improve the spectator experience, shifting to full access passes that include the same upgraded VIP access for a fraction of the charge, or $81 for all those bookkeepers listening. Now, as far as a full refund, well, that's a negative, at least for the full amount. Instead, the company only offered $55 of the $70 difference, or if they would rather, an offer for a $70 voucher that can be redeemed at next year's Queen City Classic. And sure, that math isn't really mathin', but fees and taxes, I guess. Ticket sales for the event may have waned, in part due to some of the biggest names that drive fan attendance not advancing after the group stage. Names that include Paul, Simon, Latt, and Wysocki. Add that it's a newer event, placed at the end of a season after one of the biggest majors and championship event with more participants. The lack of promotion surrounding match play for the entire year certainly didn't help out this event either, as it seemed this channel may have done a better job at it. And for most listening, a lack of ticket sales for this event isn't that big of a surprise either. Why it is for the DGPT and the late response is another question altogether. Lowered ticket pricing seems to be an obvious response for what I would have to guess is abysmal, or if you guys really want me to be polite about it, lower than expected sales. Only superseded by the fact this should have been obviously implemented on its onset, instead of a haphazard reaction where the consumer is impacted. And most importantly, just as obvious, as a full fucking refund instead of a voucher for another new event to the tour next year. But here we are, more bad publicity for what seems to be an easy solution. And that's staying away from high ticket price conversations or the VIP premise of gatekeeping holes or viewership. This is a customer service issue alone. Take care of the ones taking care of your business, simply put. And just stop being an asshole about it already. But let's hear from you guys. Is this an overreaction by me with a very transparent bias after being cut from media access, other notable exclusions we never mention, and treatment? Or is this move against the game's principles and a poor business decision like I feel? Outside the tour, Kristin Latt broke her relative silence since her departure from the game earlier this year through a social media post. And from the sounds of things, I'm happy to report Latt seems to be content with the move. Going on to state she's been able to focus her attention on her family, home, her passion of photography, even expanding disc golf in Estonia through events and her and Silver's Academy. And we certainly can't forget a sponsor shout out while we're at it with a new Porsche purchase announcement on top. For many fans who have been clamoring for a Latt return, signs still point to that being unlikely. Well, at least a full tour, that is, as her role into a sports ambassador, especially in her home nation, becomes more and more apparent. And you know what? That's okay. If it's enough for Kristin, it should be enough for everyone else. She has reached the sport's pinnacle in a short time and has impacted the game like few have in the sport, even compared to those on the MPO side. One that is felt in today's game. If she's happy with her choice, who are we to disparage it whatsoever? And fortunately for all of us, the youth in the FPO that Latt helped inspire have about the same patience as a cookout drive-thru employee, as the game has seen a teenage breakout in the division as frequently as a Burr victory. And that's for players both here in the States and internationally. Some of the game's youngest have become household names this year through their strong play. Ida Letamaki sent the World Championship to a playoff. Canadian Rebecca Don should take home the DGPT Rookie of the Year after her first tour. Julia Force was hitting top 10s on the European Tour, as well as Norway's Ida Emelinese. Addison Woodard broke out at Ledgestone, while also having the youngest ever US DGC, and let's toss a slash in there for Throw Pink qualifier, in its history with Ava Luzenko, who can't even be considered a teenager yet, as she is just 12. But like others listed, and some I didn't have the time to highlight, has shown poise in her young disc golf career, despite a record that may not be broken for some time.
Hi, I'm Ava Luzenko, PDGA number 242116, and I am the youngest person to ever qualify for USDGC. How it felt to qualify for USDGC was just the most amazing feeling of all time. This experience is just so great, and I feel like I learned a lot of things, and I got to meet a lot of new people, and it's just such a great experience. I mean, USDGC is what I wait for every year. I've been waiting for this moment for so many months, and it sucks that it's only 4 days long because it's just such an amazing experience and it flies by so fast when you're having so much fun.
And yes, all these talents will continue to develop and we have to allow that time, but whose outlooks currently look as bright as the sport has seen in some time. So could we have lost one of the best the sport has seen? Maybe. But with this upcoming batch of talent that has been displayed, along with the progressions from other pros, the FBO division as a whole will be just fine. But let's move on to the Disc Golf Pro Tour Championship as it's underway. And despite all the narratives of stroke play and people complaining about the format, the main conversation among pros has been the difficulty of the new London Tech course. Pros chimed in about the Paul McBeth new design through socials like Andrew Presnell, Bradley Williams, and Mason Ford. Toss in player YouTube videos and interview responses. Fans have gotten excited about a return to the difficult woods course that replicates the feel of a few of the European tracks many have become to love. And all that hype was all before day one scores. Number 1 on the planet, Gannon Buhr shot a +2 and 70 points below his rating. But wait, there's more. Nicholas Antala finished +3. USDGC champ AB +4. Ricky a +9. His lowest rated round since 8 years ago. Even the FPO wasn't excluded. Missy finished +5. Kat Merch and Ella Hansen even worse, making for a far tighter championship race and intrigue that some are here for. Unless you're Dumpster, who canceled his subscription. But maybe it should be toned back slightly, because it was also only a bogey on 18 away from seeing a double-digit under by Kelvin Heimberg, further displaying that the talent of the game will still put great scores up no matter how difficult the tracks are, even if they are unjustifiably rated poorly. Because there's no way that finish should be 1060s. But none of you listening really want to hear me talk about ratings. So let's move over to a few quick hitters, because honestly, I was busy. Baby Pablo celebrated a birthday and has already trumped his dad in the hairstyle department. Can't forget Pablo's Supreme Flight sponsored player Taylor Chosik's birthday today also. Cole Redolin had one tough USDGC week, made worse with some RV troubles after an accident. Owen's out there trying to take Risley's job. Jakub Semerad caught another monster, while Mari Vilman rocks the fatigues with some MVP, missing the championship altogether for Estonian's mandatory military service. There was some Pink Pony Club karaoke by Chandler Ray and Clay Edwards. Guys, go check out Urban Disc Golf's new video release, as those guys are absolutely killing it out in Detroit. Dark Ace has had a tumultuous and trying year. The emotional passing of an original member, stolen inventory, and a new job that has pulled leadership away from the line. But the great news is the brand is set for a relaunch and coming back this November, no less. So get prepped for a push this holiday season for every disc golfer with a wallet chain, and help out one of the homies that we met along the tour. Tall Paul Oman tried his hand at the Discotheque arcade game. That one game that most disc golfers want to play, and nightmares for the others. Whose viral fame videos have been shared by non-playing friends and family members to remind every disc golfer what exactly they're missing. Jomez is releasing vinyl now as they're celebrating 10 years of Jomez intros. Why? I'm not sure, but people will buy it. Speaking of buying, our homies, Queen City Discs, just got their very own and first signature disc by Trash Panda. So go check out their content and buy a swirly Procyon while your pocketbook is still open. Kyle Klein is out there bitching about his fantasy defense. Parker Welk is back on the board. Norway tops Finland for the second largest European country with PDGA members. And the Song Festival grounds, home of the European Disc Golf Festival, continues to highlight the game with a temporary glow course built on it. And everyone should really be paying attention how Estonia is doing it over there. And guys, that wraps up this week in disc golf. I want to shout out those of you on the Patreon and everyone who has stayed this long for me to thank. And like I have closed out every one of these videos, if you've enjoyed and not subscribed, make sure to do so. Helps out our channel immensely. And if you haven't already, hit that like button, comment, and share.